Hi, my name is Cheri. Welcome back to my stamp studio. I wanted to remind you that I have a whole, well, I would say stack. I have a couple of stacks of catalogs that I'm getting ready to mail out. So probably most of you know my car saga. The day before everything went to lockdown, my niece was visiting. I live in Indiana, and she was here from New York State, Connecticut. She lives like on the border. So she was here from Connecticut to visit. So we ran over to see her, and it was raining, and my husband was driving my car. He hit a pothole. And so I have brand new tires. We called and they said, bring it in on Monday and we'll fix it because it's under warranty. And then that Monday, everything got locked down. So I literally have been locked down. So I'm getting the catalogs already. I'm thinking that Thursday, my daughter doesn't work, that she can help me run them up to the post office. Because, you know, I really can't go anywhere. So I've been locked down for true. So sometimes my husband's home. He works for the hospital. So when he's working from home, it's not like I can nip out in his car, because he might have to actually nip out to things that are far and more important than my little stamp world. Because, you know, if a doctor or a neonatal care nurse needs a computer fixed, it's a little bit more important than my little saga. So I'm hoping that perhaps, since Indiana's starting to go back to work, that perhaps my tire people can go back to work and I can get my car fixed. But my catalogs are in the process. Like, I've got them out. I got the addresses ready. I'm getting all your little packets because you're going to get some little goodies in them. I don't have a whole lot of stuff to give you, because if I give it to you, then I won't have things to keep using. But I do have some stuff that's going to go in them. So if you don't have somebody sending you a catalog, the way that you can get one, and the catalog's free, you just need to go to my website. It's cheri.stampinup.net, and the address is on my Facebook. It's on my website. It's going to be down below on YouTube, where you can get a link to it. And use my host code, any size order. It doesn't matter. You can just place a $10 order of whatever you want of stamp stuff, and then that lets me know that you need a catalog. I have another shipment of them coming, because I'm going to run out of these, but I have a couple of spare extras. So if you hop on today and make an order, then you can get yourself on that list. So, and you local girls are free to run over and pick one up probably tomorrow. If you can come today and get them, your packets won't be ready, but you can get your packet the next time I see you, because I know you'd rather have your catalog than your free stuff. So they're ready, and they'll be going out. So I know you're all super excited to see those. And I'm going to remind you, these are some of the cards. Oh, they're not even all here. Which the one that's not here is the one that I'll edit the video so I can stand up to go get it. The video I'm going to work on after this one will be another using the jar bundle, because this has been a super popular one. I've had so many questions and comments on that. My daughter has a YouTube channel, and she was here yesterday and she filmed. She's not quite as fast as me, so she hasn't got the video up yet, but we did work on getting the twine. Her card's super cute. Doesn't take nearly as long as this one, because there's not so much cutting. There's hardly any cutting. So I will also put the link to that when she has it. So if you want to see that, I'll put it when I post this, and I will also post her link under this video if you want to see a simpler one, and to all of those that you have asked for hers. And she's just starting her YouTube channel, so I would love it if you could subscribe to her and give her some thumbs up, because it's hard when you first start, and she's new to this. But that's going up, and that will be my video tomorrow. So if you want to see that, then these two are up. And then today I'm working with Forever Fern. I don't know where I laid that card. Here it is. This one's already with this bundle that I'm using today. So I'll lay this one aside so at the end we can compare it. And then these two tutorials are already up. So I am really going quickly. And then next Friday, the 22nd, is when my girls, there's 7 of us, and we do group Facebook Lives. Sometimes we do whole weekends. Sometimes we do whole days. Next week's a whole day. Everybody is a fabulous stamper. Fabulous, fabulous. Sometimes we let everybody watch them. Sometimes they're private events. Sometimes they're semi-private. But the one next Friday is for those of you who have purchased from us in May. So it is a private event, because it's a sneak peek, and we're going to do lots of door prizes. There'll be some specials if you purchase from us in June with the new catalog. So it's more for our customers. But everybody loves, loves, loves these events. So there will be at least 7 hours of live things on Facebook. And if you can't see it live, you can go back and watch it later. So if you also purchase the catalog, then you're going to get the invite to that, or purchase to get the catalog. So everybody who's purchased from me in May will be getting that invite. We do have another one coming up in June, and it won't be a purchase only. It's an invite only, but you will be able to watch that one. And that one will be new catalog, but not just the sneak peek stuff. It'll be stuff that we've actually ordered. So here's the Forever Fern. The card doesn't take long. That's why I thought that I would be able to get a little bit of all of the sharing stuff out of the way. So I'm going to use another sheet of the Designer Series paper. I've debated whether to flip this one over. My prototype has this. So we might look before I stick it all together and see if we like it this way. This paper is fabulous. I'm also going to use the ribbon that comes with it. I wish you could feel it because it's twillish. It's not at all shiny. It's very natural, which goes with the feel of this. And then we are going to use the die, which on this card I used the folders and not any of the die. And I'm going to switch colors on this a little bit. So it's a really simple card. I saw it in my head one night when I was like laying in bed. I don't know if that happens to you. And I'm thinking, it was right after I'd made the other card. And I thought, what's an easy way to use the die on this set? So here's a little piece of cardstock, and it's Whisper White. Helps if you put it on the right thing. And I've cut it to be just large enough that this will fit, because I want it to be, it's not the way that I have it on my other one. I'm thinking that doesn't look right. I didn't, sometimes my spatial stuff, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a mathematician, but I want the paper to show through. So I wanted this to just be large enough to hold the die. In fact, I may take my little mini paper trimmer. That's what I did last time, and just trimmed it so it's just big enough to hold that die on there. So it just takes one pass of the Whisper White. And you can see it cuts perfectly well, one pass. You never need to cut more than once, as long as you're putting it in the middle of your die plate. If you have this machine and the thin die adapter, then it works. Now on my other card that I've already done, I used Just Jade, but I don't have a ton of that cardstock because we couldn't pre-order a lot of it. And Old Olive is also in the paper, so I'm going to do one of each. So you can see it doesn't matter if you don't have all the colors, go with a different color. You don't always have to have exactly what people have. If you're trying to copy a card, go with what you have. And I know it will be just as pretty. So one pass through. But every time you run a die through, it puts cuts in your plates, and you don't want to always have to be replacing them because it just takes one. And you can see it cuts fine. The ones that are intricate like this, you just have to make sure that you're not ripping any of your leaves. But it cut them fine. You just have to pop those little pieces out. And there you have your fern. It's beautiful. In fact, if you were doing wedding decorations or shower decorations, how pretty would these be just thrown on the table or wrapped around some candles? And there's more than one large fern on this. And then this one I want for the background. And then it also gives you a spare white fern that you could do another card, because we're not going to use this one that pops out. I want this background piece. My idea was, I'll tell you what the idea was in my head, was that I wanted this, and I just wanted to lay this on the paper. But I was going to have to go back and put these little pieces in because, when you're laying in bed, you don't see what's going to happen. I thought this was going to be a beautiful fern, and it kind of is, but it loses the definition here. So my card had to change just a little bit, because when I did it, I was like, well, that's not the beauty I saw in my head. But that happens sometimes, and you just work with it. So here's a half a piece of white cardstock cut long ways, and I cut it that direction because of the way I want to use my ribbon, which it didn't end up really mattering because I didn't tie my ribbon around the whole card, but that was why it was cut like this. And sometimes I like to cut them a little differently. So I have, I'm going to have to use a different color because my Old Olive is across the room. Oh, here, let's go with pear. And I can't find my new pear pad. I think it's over in this bucket over here. I still have a few projects from the last event that I thought I was going to have that we didn't have. So let's go with Pear Pizzazz. And then this little splatter stamp, I love splatter stamps. Well, I can't talk, splatter stamps. It comes in the set. So I'm going to start with my lighter color. And my daughter was here. She was working on her video yesterday when I made this card. And I started with the ferns around the edges. And if you go this direction of the paper, it would probably be okay. But the ferns are very realistic. And the side of the paper that I went with just the pattern, it was too artsy for the realistic pattern of the thing. So then I just switched to these and I loved it. So it worked well. So feel free to try things. And if you don't like them, there's two sides to every paper. So I just flipped it over and I tried something else. So there we have pear. So now we've really changed up the colors of this card. So if somebody uses olive, pear's really just a lighter olive. And then let's go with the shaded spruce. This is one of my favorite colors. And I'm just going around the edge because I know that that piece I've cut of designer series paper is going to fit right here. Either way that it goes, it's going to cover everything but the edge. And then when this one, I'm just letting it stamp all the way off because it's a nice dark color. So just fill in those edges and then go back. This down here kind of needs one little bit of dark. And then we'll just get rid of that. So there's our background. And then here on this piece here, I'm gonna use the Pretty Peacock, which is not in this paper, but it is in the overall paper. And it goes with the feel of the stamp set. And then this says, you can do this. How many moms do you know who have been schooling at home? And I must admit, if this had happened when my daughter was young, I would have taken her out of school and done real homeschooling. Because I had lots of friends who homeschooled and I would have just joined them in their homeschooling journey. But how many moms do you know who would like to get this card? Because they are on the end of their little... So now I love this font, but they're getting to the end of the school year. I asked my nephews the other day if my niece and my sister-in-law deserve Teacher of the Year. They didn't understand. I thought it was cute. They didn't understand. They're like, what? They're not my teacher? Yeah, they kind of are, but... So we can put it this direction. And see, I wanted this to show through, but there just wasn't enough definition. So this is the side that I currently have. Or we can flip and try this one. Okay, let's do this because, you know, I like to have some different looks. And then when I take the pictures, you can see different cards. Let's stick this on first. And this reminds me, if you have been, oops. I didn't put the ribbon on, so let's not that fall. So let's take the ribbon, and what I did is I just tied a knot here. That's what happens when you're talking and you're by yourself. It may have stuck itself now. Because you know the fuse is super sticky. But I did not let it fall. So just grab it's a faux knot on my card, which is helpful. I did have several people on if you watched my jar video, I was on so much migraine medicine that day and I still wasn't feeling great. But they did tell me you can use a heat tool to get rid of some of this glue by moistening it. But because I had that 3D jar on there, I was afraid that the heat tool would also melt my jar. So we just have a smaller ribbon and it's still fine. So now let's stick this on here, but this does take the green glue because of these little wobblies. You don't want these to be all over your card. So just take the dabby end and get it going. The glue coming out down here. And you get all your large spots first. And then you get your little points, because you want those to all lay nice and flat on your card. And it doesn't, this, if you haven't used this glue, it's so sticky. So as long as they're sticky on it, once you put it on there, it's gonna hold them down. And if you use this draggy end, then just kind of pull some out and then push it. You can see it's already glued itself to here. Just line it up. I like this side too. And because this side has the peacock in it, it pulls that font in nicely. And then now you can see those just will sit nice and flat. If you use another adhesive, it's going to be hard to get all those little pieces to adhere. Now you're going to take your die cut piece. And you need your baby dimensionals, little tiny mini ones, and they're still too big. So cut them in half. And you'll need maybe 4 of them. And just intersperse them so we have 4 evenly. I thought about placing it back inside like a puzzle piece, but the paper's so pretty behind it that I didn't want to cover up all the paper. This way you can still see the peek through. Take those backs off. And then you don't need to put it exactly perfectly in, partly because it will help the paper show through. So just kind of catty corner it. And this little piece here is where all of those things that fell out that made my original idea not work, and the paper shows through there too nicely. So here's this one, and you'll be able to see with not my quite enough ribbon, and that's with the olive cardstock and the pear ink. And here it is with just jade, which is a new in color. And you can see I just double wrapped the ribbon. I did pull that tighter because you pull it tighter the second time you pull it around. But you know, it is what it is. And it doesn't look that different. And then here is another card with this video is already posted. And there's the more realistic looking leaves. So that's super simple card. And you could do this with a lot of cards that have big dies and coordinating designer series paper. So I hope you like that. Again, if you want a catalog to go out on, maybe if I get to the post office on Wednesday, they'll go out on Wednesday, but they'll definitely be out on Thursday. So if you want one, just hop onto my website and place an order today, and it will be out maybe tomorrow. Cross my fingers if I can get somebody to take me up to the, I might be able to jam a few of them. My postman, he has finally left me a mail carrier box because I keep mailing so many things. I guess I've always worked from home, but I guess now he's realizing it because I can't go up to the post office because I like to get out all the days. So when I have a car, I used to always just go out on the days, but now he's like, yeah, you have a lot of mail. So everybody have a great day. Bye.